Hey there, it's me, Lisa, the love coach, and today I am talking about something that has come up several times in my coaching practice, something that I help both men and women deal with, and it is getting over that unavailable person. So let's say you're dating, let's say you were even in a relationship, and for whatever reason, that relationship or that situation where you were dating somebody, it didn't last, it didn't go to the level that you wanted it to go to. But instead of just being like, okay, you cannot let it go for whatever reason. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about why it is so hard for us to let go of the people who simply don't want us, or maybe they do want us, but they're not ready or able to give us what they think we ought to have, the things that we perhaps made it clear that we want. So this is something very simple. It's basically knowing your standards, knowing your worth, knowing what you want, communicating that to somebody, and then they do a little assessment of themselves and they think like, can I actually win with this person? Can I give this person what they say they want? And when they realize that they cannot and they respect you, they will let you go. Now, this is the part that really makes it hard for people to move on, because they want that person to try. They want that person to aspire to become more, to do it for the relationship. You know, let's say it has to do with making money, with career, with stability. And that's a standard that you have where you're like, yeah, I'm not going to date somebody who's kind of just all over the place professionally. You know, they have to have a job and a career or business or whatever, and stability matters. So let's say that's a standard, which is a normal standard to have, and it's one that certainly is appropriate and applicable to both men and women. I coach men all the time, and one of the number one things that they say across the board is that they want a woman who has financial maturity and has financial solvency, can run a budget, can take care of herself financially. And with women, it's the same thing with men. They want a guy who is advanced in his career or profession or business, is stable, secure, has a clear path and direction of where they're going in their life. So this is, you know, something that is common for people who are moving forward and striving for more in their life. Now, let's say you make that known to the person and they aren't really on that same page. They're very, you know, floaty when it comes to their profession, or they have a lot of fear. They don't really take risks and chances. They don't really believe in themselves. They don't really go for anything. And they know that you would be better off with someone who is that way. Now, if this person really loves you, respects you, thinks highly of you, they will step aside, and instead of trying to become what they believe you need and want, they will step back. They will let you go. Let's see. Somebody's weighing in with a comment. What do we have here? We have Nate Buse, socializing ideas. We idolize people and place expectations on others, ignoring the fact that they're only human. Spiritual voids and how commerce relies on the fulfillment of these voids. Wow, that's a very deep and very true statement. And I believe that any time we're idolizing people, we are misaligned with faith. Right? We shouldn't be idolizing people. There are no other idols beyond God. So this whole notion of idolizing people is definitely not the right path. And it's always going to be the path to disappointment. So when you have expectations and you idolize a person, that's not good. But if you do have standards that's different, right? So having standards simply means I'm clear about how I want to live my life. I'm clear about who and what my value is about. And I'm not going to settle for anything that is not aligned with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And everybody's standards are different. They're based on their own wants, desires, needs, aspirations, their own level of faith in themselves and others, their own level of faith in something higher that they are aligned with so that they can move forward in life and achieve things that they want to achieve. So I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. And feel free to all have, comments on this topic. It's something that comes up often. A lot of people struggle with unavailable people, and they have told me, why don't they fight for me? I told this person, these are the things that I want in a relationship. And it was like they just gave up. They didn't fight for me. And yes, it's a very, it's a shot to your ego, right? So when you feel that and you're like, oh my gosh, like we were together and like I thought it was going well. And then I just said, here's what I want out of my life, or here's what I want, in a partner or whatever. And it just fell away. Why didn't they fight for me? Why didn't they try to be better, right? To do more, to be better. And the thing with this is, stop going for the fixer-uppers and go for the person who has everything that you want. And the problem is people don't believe that that person exists. So they'd rather stay with somebody because it's comfortable and safe, or so they think, when really it's not safe at all, right? If this person can't protect and provide, and if, they're not having your back, men are typically about provision and protection, right? They're strong. That's kind of like their, how they're wired to show up, right? But with women, it's more about, collaboration and nurturing and being like, I got you, like you have their, their back. So it's a very interesting dynamic because a lot of people feel like, this person can only go to a certain point with me because they can only go to a certain point within themselves. Now, here's an interesting thing. Unavailable people oftentimes are unavailable because they doubt themselves. They doubt what they can give to somebody else. And so it's an insecurity thing. So don't think that it's always about you. So a lot of times my clients will come to me and they'll be like, I always attract unavailable people. And it's like, maybe they're just unavailable to me because there's something wrong with me. And it's never about something right or something wrong. Like that's the number one thing I try to help people get in their head is you are right where you are exactly at this moment in your life for a reason. This is your journey. This is how it's laying out. There are going to be people who come and go and mix it up with you to teach you some stuff, and then you teach them stuff in return. And that's what it is. Not every relationship is meant to be the hand you hold when you die. So sometimes relationships are meant to be successful for 6 months. Sometimes they're meant to be successful for 4 years. Sometimes they're meant to be successful for 40 years. It really doesn't matter about the person and their perception, about you, about themselves. What matters is where you're at in your journey, what it is you need to learn, who you attract to teach you it, and how quickly you get the lesson. So if you want to attract available people, here's a tip. Be available to yourself. If you're attracting unavailable people, ask yourself, where in my life am I being unavailable to myself? Where am I out of commitment to myself? Where am I out of integrity with myself? And once you start to make those shifts in your own life, you're going to vibrate on a different level so that then you're going to start to attract more available people, people who are interested in commitment, people who want to merge lives with you, want to build something with you. People who want to go beyond just that boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot to be enjoyed about the boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic. But if you are one of those people who prefers to share a life with the person that you love and you want to be with them every day and share meals with them and have a life together, then it's very important that you are available to yourself. You're taking care of yourself. You're following through on the commitments that you say you're going to do. That's a huge one. The more we follow through on the things that we say we want to do for ourselves, the more likely we are to attract people who follow through with themselves and with us. And those are people who are into commitment. They're into forward thinking, creating something bigger than what is currently, just, being a little more purposed in their life, more of a 10-year game plan. How do I want to live 5 years from now? What am I doing now to make that happen? Those are the important questions that a lot of people who are often unavailable refuse to ask. They want to have responsibility for themselves, but they do not necessarily want to take, or better said, share responsibility and build a life with somebody else. It's far easier just to exist like a child or a single person with no commitment or no responsibility beyond just having fun. This is often called like arrested development, and that's something that I can go into in another video. But for today, I wanted to just talk a little bit about unavailable people, why you're attracting them, what you need to do for yourself so that you no longer attract them. And if any of this is resonating with you and you find yourself over and over again attracting unavailable people, going on dates, thinking things are going great, and then all of a sudden you have this conversation about what are you looking for? And it's like, oh, I just want something casual. And meanwhile, you've invested, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months into this person. And you're like, well, I want more than that. I thought we were getting along great. So this is why it's very important to know how to ask certain questions very early on and state what it is that you want so that you can weed through and understand if somebody's available to you or not. And finally, before I sign off, I always like to leave it with a positive note and an affirmation. And just tell yourself, I'm only available for people who are available to me. I am only available to people who are available to me. Thanks so much, you guys and girls. If you have a question for me and you're seeing this video, hit me with a DM. Let me know what's going on. I love to connect. Bye.